welcome back, everyone, to the Bug Up Podcast, episode 14. Feet Santonio Hill. Welcome, Santonio. Nice to see you, man.
Max, thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah.
Bethany, thanks. You're probably
we got to shout out Bethany, man.
She needs some love, I feel
she
like.
Does, she does. Well, I don't ask her to look up enough stuff. I mean, she has, like, terrible service in here anyway. I know.
I'll give you my hotspot.
No, dude, it don't work, man. You can't put a hotspot on if you have one bar on your phone. How's life been, man?
Man, life is good. You know, I feel like I've been trying to recalibrate from like different stages in life. You know, like you're a single man, and then you fall in love with the Lord, and it's like, all right, recalibrate, and then you end up, you know, wanting to go be a missionary, do something radical with your life. You recalibrate it again, and then you start dating someone, and it's like, okay, like, where are my priorities now? And then you get married, have kids, and then you throw some chickens in there, and it's like, all right, now how am I recalibrating again? And so, and you know, like, you constantly trying to navigate your relationship with the Lord and your relationship with your wife and kids, and you know, you can always learn more. And that's kind of like where I'm at right now.
Yeah, you know? Santonio just laid out the whole podcast for everyone, just like in a timeline. That's literally what I had written on my sheet, so that's wild. Do you have a rooster, by the way, or just chickens?
Just chickens, man. In the city, you can't have a rooster. Oh. The chicken people will come get you.
That's dumb. They show up and kill the rooster. That's how you wake up the kids in the morning, man.
Right, they're like, I smell a rooster over here. Tranquilizer. Bam.
Nah, man, they're gonna eat that thing for dinner. Probably.
They would, man. Roosters are brutal. They don't play around.
They are crazy, man. They got those big talons on the end that they spike things with. Yeah.
One day, if we ever move out of the city, we'll probably get one.
Do you think that's in your future sometime? You want to move out?
Moving out of the city? Is it in my future? Santonio's? Yes, I could see it. But my wife, you know, we obviously come as a package deal. So no, we'll never leave the city, I don't think. She likes to stay inside the city, somewhere where she can like walk close to like get a
Frappuccino from Starbucks or something.
Yeah, her coffees and whatever else. And then the idea of being a homestead is really attractive to her. But like, in reality, it's tough. Yeah. It's just
land's hard to come by nowadays too, especially in Pittsburgh. Like, I don't know.
This is a really big room. Our like backyard is the size of this room. It's massive. That's a joke. We talked about earlier how
this room is like a closet. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but I'm never gonna show anyone the size of this room because every guest who walks in there, they're like, "Dude, I thought this place was legit bigger," and I'm like, "It's small. It's like a closet, man." But no one's gonna see it. No one's gonna know.
Right. It's cozy. Same with Matt Fred. His room is also very small as well.
You've been in his studio?
Once.
Dang.
And
in Steubenville or no?
In Steubenville, yeah. Okay. Yeah, not the new one.
I was going to say, he just moved to Florida, right?
Yeah, but it's like, oh man, I thought this room was way bigger. And it's like that table takes up the majority of the space in there. It's such an awesome table.
Yeah, we were going to do a table, and then I was just like, this room is too small, man. We got to just do chairs, so...
Or the table's just not small enough.
I don't know, man. That desk has always been in here from day one. We just like, we ain't moving that thing out. We got to make room for it, but yeah. But getting into it, man, you mentioned your missionary life. Like, what kind of brought you into the fold with that? What was attractive? Like, what was attractive to you about missionary life? You said it kind of had a reversion when you fall in love with God, so.
Yeah, man. So I guess just share my story a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead, dude. You can start young, go old if you want.
Yeah, well, I'll just start from high school.
Sure.
So I was...
He's not old. We were talking about this.
It's all good. I'm bald, you know what I mean? It's all good. So growing up in Maryland, Southern Maryland is where I'm from, I didn't have like the most, faithful relationship with God. You know, it's just been kind of like, he's there on Sundays when I need him, at church, at mass, but that was kind of it. We say grace before meals, but if we forgot, it's like,
whatever.
You know, the food's not blessed. But just doing my own thing. I played football in high school, and so I ended up getting a scholarship to go play for a university out around Baltimore. And one day after mass, my parish priest, his name was Father Scott, he reached out and said, "Hey," and I used to altar serve, so we were like kind of tight, but he didn't really know me, you know. And so he reached out and said, "Hey, Santonio, what are you doing after you graduate high school?" And I said, well, I got the scholarship, full ride. I'm taking it. He said, that's awesome. I said, I know. And
come on, Father.
Come on, it's me, baby, it's me. And so he says, well, have you ever considered the seminary? And I was like, what the heck is that?
Hell no.
Right, you know? And he was like, oh, you know, it's a place where men go and study to be priests. And I said, Father Scott, come on, man. Like, I appreciate it, but like, no, I'm good. And he said, well, how about you pray on it? And I said, how about I sleep on it? And so that night and the next night, I have these two dreams where I feel like God is really calling me closer to him in a way that, like, when I wake up from these dreams, it took a while to like discern what was going on with it. But I kind of felt like I had my my like Abraham moment, or like my Moses moment, or like my Noah moment, where God said, you know, Abraham, I know you wanted a son for 100 years. Go sacrifice him for me. And it's like, this is his moment, you know. Or like, Noah, go build an ark in the middle of a drought. Yes, this is his moment. Or like Moses, you know, go set my people go free them. No, I don't want to do that. You know, it's like, well, I need Aaron to come with me, or what. It was like, that was his moment. And you know, they all had many other moments, but those are like some of the
defining
bigger
moments.
ones.
Yeah,
for sure. And so I'm like, well, if this is my defining moment from the main character of my life, or whatever people say, you know, I definitely don't want to miss it. And so even though I don't want to be a priest, I will step into this place to see if this is where God is calling me to do something else, maybe. Who knows? Because I didn't have a real relationship with God, you know, during this time. And so somewhere in the back of my mind, I always thought, like, if I go to the seminary, maybe God will call me out to do something else. But at least let me go and give it a shot.
Yeah.
Because maybe not. You never know if I am called to be a priest or not. And so I declined the scholarship, and I went to go to the seminary.
Wow, you declined the scholarship. Wow.
Yeah. When I went to the seminary, I was there for 4 years. And so how I began to like fall in love with Jesus was my second year. I remember I was in spiritual direction, and the priest at the time, Father Gurney, he was, you know, trying to direct me. And he says, who is Jesus? And he had a massive crucifix on his wall. And I said, it's him right there. And he says, what did he do? And I said, it's self-explanatory. And he said, what else did he do? I said, I think he walked on water. Then he just cut me short, and he said, listen, you don't know who Jesus is, and that's okay. You're here in the seminary, and we are here as your formators to help build you up and allow you to be the man that you're meant to be in virtue and in prayer. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to read the 4 Gospels. Just read it for understanding all the way through, all 4 of them. When you're done with that, come back and I'll teach you how to pray with them. And so I read them all, and afterwards came back. We did Lectio Divina paragraph by paragraph, and I did that my entire sophomore year. And that's when my heart just like exploded. It's like like joy of love for who Jesus is, you know, and in relation to me, you know. And so I at that moment I was like, I will never not do something amazing for God. And so that the love from really those 2 moments of like, all right, God is in here in these dreams, and I kind of know who he is, I think. But then like journeying with God more in scripture, and then putting it into action. When I was in the seminary, we had apostolates and things that we would do, go serve the poor, or, you know, the like Little Sisters of the Poor, who serve shut-ins. And so, yeah, man, you know, just put into action in those ways, and my brothers in the fraternity, and like in the seminary fraternity.
Yeah,
I'm not.
You're in fraternity
No,
and the seminary? Come on,
dipping?
man.
No, I'm not doing all that.
What was you said that I was just curious, backtracking a little bit.
For sure.
You said that you had dreams. Do you remember particularly what those were?
Yeah. I do. You want to hear them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So all right. So my first dream that I had, it's so crazy. You know, like dreams are dreams. You know, I don't know that.
God works through dreams, though, man.
Oh, the St. Joseph's.
Come on.
Absolutely, man. And so I windows getting a little foggy over there.
Dude, yeah, they're getting a little foggy. I just got a little scratch on them. I got to clean them off.
And so the first dream, when Father Scott said, you know, how about you pray on it? I said, how about I sleep on it? So that night, I had this dream when I was in this long line of Little League football. all these kids were like geared up, ready to go play a game. And I'm in line as big as I am without any equipment. And I'm thinking like, maybe I'm the coach, maybe I'm the general manager. I don't know what's going on, but like, here we are. And this line like went through mountains, hills, and valleys. And it led up to this castle. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. Maybe we got a bowl game or something. Like, this is wild. I don't know what's going on. We finally make it inside the castle and open up the doors, and there's a table similar to what Bethany looks like right now. Sitting and seated at the middle of this table is this bishop. And on either side were these two priests. And so they motion me to step forward, and so I do. And they slide me a sheet of paper and hand me a pen. And I'm like, oh, these guys, they know what's up. Must be my Sprite
trying
endorsement
to get you sign a contract.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Or they
Sprite
just,
endorsement.
or they want my autograph. So I give the pen back to them, slide a sheet of paper back, and I say, you're welcome. And I'm like super big headed at this time too, man. Cause like nobody where I'm from is getting full ride scholarships. Where, we just kind of, I'm from like a little tumbleweed town, you know? Now it's built up a lot more. But anyway, so back to the dream. So they take out this huge stamp, it's like the size of my forearm, and they stamp it. And they say, congratulations, now you're a priest. And I'm like, whoa, buddy.
Hey, yo, that's not a Sprite endorsement deal. Where's my money? Come on.
Where's my money for this? I don't want this. And so they give me a bunch of like books and sweaters and breath mints or whatever. And they say, your locker's down to the left. Have a nice day. And so I'm like, what the heck is going on? I take my stuff with me. I'm walking, find my locker, knew the combination, open it up, put the stuff inside, pop in a breath mint because you never know. Slam it shut. And then I wake up from that dream and I say, whoa. Yeah, right.
Whoa.
The day I become a priest is the day I become terrible at basketball.
Oh.
Even though I got, and you know my basketball skills are good, but like even though I got the scholarship in football, that's just how big-headed I was at the time, you know? And so the next night I had this another dream. And I'm playing basketball, and it's like 5-on-5 NBA-style arena, lights, cameras, actions. There's like posters on my face and stuff like that. I remember at tip-off, they passed me the ball, and I guess I'm the starting, star player.
Don't say point guard, man.
No, definitely not.
You ain't no point guard.
Well, dude, I'm only 6'4", so in the league, I am point guard.
That's
like
true.
height.
That's true.
But I guess I don't know. Whatever. I'm the starting player, and I'm the main guy handling the ball. There.
Okay. We can dig with that.
And so I remember the entire dream. I miss every single shot, and I'm just thinking like, what in the heck is happening right now? I try passing the ball to my teammates, and they're like, no, dude, you're the guy. You have to shoot the ball. Wow. And I'm like, but I'm missing every single shot. Help me. Like, come on. And they're like, it's on you. You got it.
Wow.
And so I wake up from that dream thinking like, whoa, this sucks. You know, like I guess I'm going to be a priest and everything. And then like later on, so part of what my discernment looked like, because you don't just go from those dreams to like, I guess I'll give God a shot.
Yeah.
And so like the in-between of what that looked like for me was, waking up, trying to understand it but I didn't know how to pray. I didn't know how to discern. So it was like wheels just spinning in mud. And so I said, well, let me go back to Father Scott. You know, let me ask him a couple of questions because he's a priest, and maybe I'll just ask him like, how's his life? And so I remember one Sunday after Mass, I said, hey, Father Scott, I just want to ask you a couple questions. Can we talk like way over here, away from everybody?
Yeah.
And he's like, sure, buddy. And so I shouldn't be making fun of him. That's my guy. I love Father Scott.
Father Scott, we'll send this to you. Don't worry.
And so he's so gracious. He's giving me his time, and I'm asking him like, so what do you do as a priest? Like, do you work one day a week? Do you always have to wear this black dress? I mean, I guess it's kind of slimming, whatever. This is odd though. Like, what's your gig? What do you do? And he's sharing enough, you know, in time span of like 15 minutes, enough that I could understand at my like level of education when it comes to the faith. And the one thing that really hit me was what he said about the Eucharist, which was just every single hour on the hour around the world, Mass is happening, a miracle is happening. And I'm like, what do you mean a miracle is happening? It's like the Eucharist. It's not just a piece of bread, you know, and not just wine. This is the blood and body of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. And I was like, wait a minute. This is like, for real?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, buddy. Like, I dedicated my life to this. Like, I believe in this. This is real. I'm not, if I'm wrong, I'm a fool.
Yeah,
and
wow.
I'm like, wow.
Quite a testament, man.
Right.
Jeez. And you believed it like just like that? Or what was your process with that?
So I said, I guess you gave me a lot to pray on. And now I'm like, now I know how to pray. And I'm like, you gave me a lot to pray on, Father Scott. Let me go back home and I'll talk to you in a little bit. And so the way I processed it was I went back home and I took this crucifix off my wall and I'm staring at it in my hand. And I'm like, I don't get it. Like, how is it possible for this Jesus God man to die for me to have life? Like, it just doesn't make sense. But at the same time, I've never heard anyone refute it. So I said, well, it must make sense. You know, Father Scott just said, like, he's devoted his entire life to it. And so since this is true, just moving on the assumption that this is true, this is really awesome and really unselfish for Jesus to die to give me a shot at life. And so since he gave me a shot at life, I might as well give him the first shot at my life to see what it is that, you know, I'm supposed to do with it. Because I will always hear Father Scott say, if you do God's will, you'll be most happy. And so let me go ahead and give God a chance. And once again, now that brings it back into like, you know, big moments of the patriarchs of our faith.
Yeah. That was your defining moment, you'd say, or at least the beginning of one.
Yeah. Yes. And where I really felt like I had, an interaction with God versus just kind of like, I don't know, just playing video games and go outside and play hoops with the guys and looking at whatever, doing whatever, and just kind of like living the mundane, trying to chase something life. And so
there's a lot of grace in that moment, though, man. I mean, for someone like you who has a full ride scholarship, you know, 2 dreams and a conversation turns into that type of discernment process for you is pretty astounding and grace filled. You know, that's incredible.
Have no idea, dude.
I don't. That's why I'm hearing it. I'm like, man, that's incredible, dude.
Yeah, it really was beautiful. You know, looking back on it in the moment, it's kind of like, do we have to? You know, like, God, do you have to do this to me? But like, I'm so thankful that he gave me the opportunities, you know? Like, he knocked off St. Paul off the horse. I'm glad I didn't get knocked off a horse, you know? Like, he came gentle with dreams. He's like, all right, let me wake you up because you clearly aren't seeing me right now. So let me come at you at your most vulnerable state and give you an opportunity. And so
and that was his way to kind of get you to move towards him a little bit, because obviously you're married, so we're going to get into that a little bit of where that whole process flipped on its head. But so you said you were learning the scriptures, the gospels particularly. Did you have a hard time reading those through? Like, was that the moment where you really the moment where the grace was instilled and you decided to, hey, I really want to do this? Or was it more the Lectio Divina afterwards?
Yeah, I think it was more the Lectio Divina that like really allowed my heart to pop. But anything that I didn't understand, which was probably 85% of it, I would just go back to my spiritual director and be like, I underline this. What does that mean? What is this word? He's like, oh, that's Greek, or that's. I'm like, what in the world?
Greek.
Why? You know, like, what is that translation? I'm like, why? What is this? But I mean, yeah, there was. I don't know. Here's the other thing, Max.
Sure.
Like, I knew from what Father Scott had said, he said every man should do 2 years minimum in a seminary. So your first year, you're just getting acclimated.
Yeah, it's tough usually your first year. That's what I've heard.
I'm about to say, oh, you've been.
Dude, from everyone and everyone and anyone, the first year's tough. But.
Yeah, very true. Especially, I shouldn't say especially for me because it's like, but like,
but it's your experience. I mean,
my first year was fake too, man. I gotta be real.
Okay, well, what do you mean by that?
All right, here we go. So like, my first year in seminary, I was in New York. Oh man, I can't believe I'm about to go down this rabbit hole.
Hey, let's go. Let's get it.
I was in New York, and because I was studying for the Archdiocese of Washington D.C., but they coming right out of high school, going into college, they didn't yet have like a college seminary in D.C., and so they would send their guys to New York. And so I'm in New York, living in St. Joseph's Seminary, Dunwoody in Yonkers, and I'm going to school at St. John's University in Queens. The one theology class that I was a philosophy major. The one theology class that I had, the teacher wasn't Catholic. And this is at a Catholic school, St. John's University. Teacher wasn't Catholic. I'm giving Catholic answers. He's shooting them down, saying like, no, you're wrong. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I don't even remember what it was at this point because I was so like.
Well, what was he? Was he just.
Man. He was.
Not that it's important, but I was just.
Yeah, he was. I want to say either Methodist or he was Presbyterian.
Okay.
or some non-denom. I'm throwing 3 different types out there. I don't really remember, but I remember one day, because I used to wear a crucifix around my neck.
Okay.
And that's a very Catholic thing. Like nobody else is.
Yeah, with the corpus on it, yeah.
Yeah. And so all right, he looks at me one day. He doesn't know I'm in the seminary, but I come to school like dressed in a shirt and tie every day. And he says, "Huh, are you Catholic?" And I'm like, "Yes." And then he like stands with his arms crossed and wide-legged stance, and he's like, "I used to be Catholic. I used to be one of those, but then I gained the light or whatever." And
I
I'm
used
like,
to know the truth, you know.
And then
My bad.
Hey man, you know. But like I was just like, man, this guy's a bully in his own classroom to me, you know. And so that's one situation that happened. I was not too great. The second one, I didn't care about anything when I was in the seminary. Because I didn't have a conversion. I didn't have an encounter with God. I had my encounter with God, but like, you know how Judas had many encounters with God and still chose not God? I was on my way of that. Like, I had these 2 dreams that were awesome, but I could choose not God still. And so during my not God phase in life, I said, what if I had a girlfriend right now in the seminary? Went for it.
Okay.
This girl in class, her name was Venicia McFarland. We'll never forget her. She was great. But I remember one day I'm starting to get serious about her, and I'm like, oh God, I think I love her. For 1 month we dated while in seminary. And I'm like, nah, I love her. What the heck? And I'm thinking like, well, maybe I should leave seminary to marry her. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like, this is the first prayer that I had in seminary. I said, what am I doing? I gave up a scholarship to be here, and now I'm just gonna like I gotta honor God in this, you know? So I said, let me break up with her. And right before I broke up with her, she said, we need to talk. And I said, please, let's chat, because I got something I need to tell you. You know what I mean? And so she says, I've really been feeling like God has been calling me to split up with you, because I just feel like I'm stealing the priest away from God, and I just can't do that. And I'm like, whoa.
Wow. Affirmation,
I said,
bro.
hey, pound it.
Pound
we're good. You know, what I was going to say, she was like, what did you need to say? I was like, nothing. We're good.
See, we're good, yeah.
Oh, man. And so after that, I said, let me give seminary a fair chance. But then I kind of couldn't, because there was a lot of like foolishness happening. So this is the part where it gets like kind of heavy. So
sure.
There was guys in the seminary. God bless them. Love them all. Truly, I do. They would come from like South America, come to America, get their green, like say like, oh, I want to enter the seminary, and they're like, okay, you need to get your green card. So they go through the whole process. We would celebrate it, and we would be up to the wee hours in the morning, like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., whatever, celebrating these dudes, doing their traditions, going hard. And then like we got to wake up at like 5:15 to be in the chapel. Every single time. It's never failed, Max. Never failed. Every single time. We would celebrate the guy, go to sleep, wake up, be in the chapel. That guy we celebrated was not in chapel. And it was like, oh, interesting. Maybe he's sleeping in because he went a little harder.
Wow.
And then like Father Sweeney, he was our vice rector. He would always go up. He would knock on the door. Like, hey, it's Father Sweeney. You missed the morning prayer. Keep knocking. I know this because I've been that guy before.
Yeah.
And like if you were still asleep or whatever, he would just like open up. He had a key. He was like, all right, I'm coming inside, and he would unlock the door if you had the door locked. And every single time, without fail, these rooms would be completely bare.
Wow.
Like everything would be gone. And it's like, what the heck happened? This happened like 4 or 5 times.
Are you kidding me?
Maybe 6 or 7 actually. And so I was like, what the heck is this place? It's like a concrete jungle.
Citizenship laundering or something, yeah.
Yeah,
Jeez.
like nothing's real. I can have a girlfriend and nobody cares. Like, like I can, like, when I would go and pray, I would just bring a pillow. I would legit bring a pillow to the chapel, and I'll like sleep because I could, and nobody said, hey, you should stop. So I'm like, this isn't real. This place isn't,
Yeah,
like,
they're not challenging me.
No, not at all, And so second year is when like seminary actually started for me. And so going back to this now about how Father Scott said you should give it 2 years minimum every year. Every guy deserves 2 years. I feel like my first year I was gypped. And so my second year I was like, all right, let me actually try. And so that's why I kind of was like, I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah.
My second year, even though I don't know what's going to
That's honorable, though,
going to happen. Yeah, I got to at least give it a shot. And so that's why I tried.
Yeah.
You know.
How was that second year for you then? What changed? What changed as far as challenges, I guess, is what the question I wanted to ask. How did it become more legit, you know?
Yeah, man. They didn't mess around, dude. Yeah, Father Carter Griffin, he was a vice rector. Monsignor Pankey was a rector at the time. And they had strict schedules. They had curfews. Father Griffin was an officer in the Navy, and so he ran it.
Dang, man.
He ran it very militant. Yes,
Yeah.
tight ship. And yeah, like we had to be at prayer. We had to. We were. I shouldn't say forced. We were highly encouraged, and it was also part of like our formation to give like post-communion reflections after Mass was over, and like right before dinner. And so it's like certain things you kind of can't fake. Like you will hear somebody give an amazing, beautiful reflection, and it's like, wow, that's incredible. I don't want to be the guy that's like, let's just say a Hail Mary. You know what I mean? Like, you get inspired by that. The other thing was that the men in New York were great men as well. And I still have some relationships that are still tight. I'm still tight with, but every guy in DC was quality, and they're all calling you on. Like if they see you acting not as a disciple, like you should, you know, like fraternal correction, you know, it's fraternal correction there was a good spirit of it in the home, in the house. And so if you wanted to do something, it's like, well, why you want to do that? Like guys are going to question you, you know, they're
actually challenging you. Yeah.
Yeah. They're not just going to let you skate by in life. They're looking out for your best interest. Guys are encouraging prayer, like, hey, let's go pray liturgy of the hours. Let's go do a holy hour. Did you do it's on a Saturday. It's like, did you do your holy hour today? It's like, no, dude, it's Saturday.
Yeah, no.
It's like, well, no vacation from your vocation. And I'm like, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, it means no days off, essentially. And I'm like, all right.
Well, that was probably really good for your discernment process, though, you know? Because it's like, I'm actually being challenged, and if this is the life I'm called to live, then I got to live it. And if I'm not called to live it, then it's going to be obvious.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, there was nowhere to hide. You couldn't hide in that house. And it was also like 15 men or something like that versus being 50 plus in the other spot. And so you couldn't hide. Everybody's like, you know.
On your butt all the time.
Yeah, and you're just kind of like on this, like, not on display. That's the wrong word, but you're just, you have no hiding places. So either we can tell you're actually growing and we'll see the fruit. We'll, the fruit by that effort, or we'll see that, oh, this guy's just BSing his way through seminary, and you'll fall off. And so I was like, I don't want to be I'm an athlete. I'm not trying to be a quitter. So like, let me go all in. Anyway, so yeah. Yeah,
so that whole year went around, and then did you leave after that year?
Nah, man, I lasted for 4 years.
4 years, okay. I couldn't remember if you said 4 too.
Yeah, so I did it. Yeah, my third year was great. Just still getting, I still really didn't want to be in the seminary. But I said, I don't feel like God is calling me out.
Gotcha.
So I'm not going to leave until I feel like I have that confirmation from the Lord. And so, at the end of my junior year, I had a what is it called? A summer assignment. Where I shadowed one of the priests in the diocese, and one of the priests that I shadowed was a exorcist priest. Okay. And so like we would have many good conversations about spiritual warfare, and for the longest time, it just kind of seemed like a fairy tale, you know? Like until you, I don't know, unless you can see an angel or a demon, it's like, it seems fairy tale.
Yeah, people are making up stories or whatever.
Right, you know? And so one day, there's a friend of mine that came from home, and my friend came to the church where I was staying at. And I was like, hey, what are you doing here? And they were like, well, you know, here to see my friend, Father so-and-so. And I'm like, how do you know Father so-and-so? They're like, just my friend. And I'm like, whoa, what? And then I see Father, like, I'm starting to like put two and two together. Yeah. And then I see the priest come along, and it's like, okay, come on, we have our appointment now. And it's like, do you guys know each other? And it's like, yeah, we do. And, you know, it was after that moment where we caught up a little bit more, and I was talking to my friend. I'm like, wow, this is like
going for an appointment with the exorcist.
Man.
Wow.
This person wouldn't just make this up, you know? And so like it was meat on the bone at that point. I'm like, wow, this is real. So not only was that moment really pivotal for me, the other moment was just like living the life of a priest without doing all the sacraments, you know, just seeing that like, oh, I actually love this. and I actually can see myself as a priest. Seminary is just such a fake world, you know. It's like you study, you pray, you eat. People love up on you for no reason. You walk by like, hey, I'm a seminarian. They're like, oh my gosh. They're like, throw candy or like whatever. And it's like what in the world? I haven't done anything.
Yeah, you feel like it's Halloween or something.
Dude,
you're just dressing up for no reason.
And so like, yeah, like in the seminary, but on that summer assignment, I was actually doing things, you know, being put into motion. And being able to, feel useful in those ways. And I probably have some other, like, identity issues, too, I would say. Like,
sure.
You know, just knowing that I can be loved, you know? Like St. John, the apostle, was so good at just being loved. He called himself the beloved, you know? Which just means he was good at being loved, I think. And so, like, I just didn't have that. And so I, like, needed to do in order to feel like I could be loved. And so, like, sitting around and praying all day and studying was, like...
Transactional mentality, you think?
100%, man. Oh, yeah. And it just goes into other wounds, you know? Like, my father wasn't around growing up and stuff. And it's like, well, if I did more, maybe he would come back and stay. And so it's hitting on all these things. And so, like, one day, all right, here we go. Got another couple of dreams for you.
Sure.
One day I said, man, I love this life. This is pretty great. And I was like, God, I don't know where I'm called. I can still see myself being married. And now I can kind of see myself being a priest. Like,
good spot to be.
Good spot to be. Yeah. And I was just like, God, can you hook a brother up? Like, I need a little something.
A little inspiration.
Yeah. And so that night I go to sleep, have these two dreams. The one dream, I'm holding my child. And the whole dream is kind of blurry. But I see this child and I see my family ahead of me. And we're all like going on like a nice little brisk hike. And I just remember like holding this child, having so much love in my heart, being like, wow, this is incredible. That dream goes away. I have another dream where I'm a priest and I have one of my brother priests with me and we're in a church and there's all these people, really kids, but there was other people around as well. And they're looking at me for like guidance. And I'm thinking to myself, I can do this. My brother priest is here. You know, these kids are looking at me for guidance and whatnot. And I'm like, wow, I think I can do this as well. And I woke up from those dreams and I'm like, I feel I'm in the same position. Like, all right, God, you already knew I could go either way. Wow. Like that wasn't helpful. And so the next time I get a chance to go to spiritual direction, I asked my spiritual director, Father Gurney, I said, hey, I had these two dreams. Like, what do you think? What do you make of it? And he said, Santonio, I think God has given you the opportunity to choose what your vocation is. And he said, I haven't really experienced this a whole lot, but it seems to me that this is where God is leading you, that it's kind of like up to you. And I said, okay, well, I'm choosing priesthood, you know? Like I didn't want to be here for the longest time. Now I'm here, now I'm loving it, and I think I can, really get behind it. And I'm continuing to grow more and more, and I see such a value in all of this. This is what I want. And this is happening subconsciously as well. I didn't say this out loud, but subconsciously I was thinking, and like I always wanted to be chosen by my father. My father never chose me. God the Father is choosing me. Because he's choosing me, I'm saying yes to him in this way. Wow. Because this was the initial call. And so I'm like, well, I'm all in, you know? So maybe a few weeks later, I'm in adoration. And I'm praying just, in Thanksgiving for such a great summer. And I remember like hearing this voice, and the voice said, Santonio, I'm so proud of you. You've done so well, but now it's time to move on. And I'm like, wow, that's the devil. And I was like, no way, that's God. Like, I've been fighting to be here because I could have left at any time. Yeah. I've been fighting to be here for all 3 years. No way, that's God. That has to be the devil. I just decided to lock in with God on this. And so I'm not going to be discouraged. I'm going to continue to go forward. Senior year starts. I tell my formators about that prayer time that I had. And they said, whoa, don't just assume that's the devil. You should really pray about, whose voice that was. And so surely enough, after praying, for an entire semester of what the heck that was all about, turns out it was the voice of God. And so I was like, well, I guess I got to pack up and get up out of here now, man. And dude, that was really hard for me.
Yeah, I bet.
Because I was looking forward to going to the Mount. That's where I was going to do the next 4
Mount
years.
St. Mary's?
Mount
My
St.
sister
Mary's.
went there, yeah. It's an awesome place, yeah.
Dude, it is great.
It's so cool.
Yeah. Marian Grotto, the fraternity is like even bigger and better apparently. And yeah, I was looking forward to like learning how to be a priest and getting formed there, and just kind of felt like God was like, all right, something else. And I'm like, dang, God, man. You pulling the rug underneath my feet, man.
Wow, yeah.
Like, what's going on?
Writing straight with crooked lines.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
For sure. Yeah, you know, that's a good point you saying that right now too, writing straight with crooked lines, because I probably was, who knows? I probably was never supposed to go to the seminary. Maybe, maybe not. If like life was going to be like, if my upbringing was different.
Yeah.
Like, because God had given me many opportunities to follow Him, but I chose sports, I chose girls, I chose other, fill in the blank. And, you know, He said, well, here's another opportunity before you like really screw up, before I have to give you the St. Paul moment, you know? And so, like, maybe that was the whole time. But who knows? I'll never know on this side of heaven, you know?
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful story, though, man. I mean, to be honest, hearing it, I'm like, it makes perfect sense. It's just your story, you know? Like, if you had to go through seminary to go through those 4 years and figure out, like, you went for it, though. That's my whole point. You didn't go half in, half out. Like, the reason you were probably able to discern marriage is because you fully discerned priesthood. You know, you weren't like, I don't wishy-washy about it. You know, that's like a torturous place to put someone. So you got to just be in or you got to be out, you know?
Sure.
So that's awesome to hear. So 4 years, did you stay in Maryland, or when did you come to Pittsburgh? When was that move?
Okay, so coming to Pittsburgh. So after Maryland, I went to school in D.C., graduated my philosophy degree. I said to myself, I want to be a missionary, but I don't want to fundraise my salary. And so I guess the second best thing is to be a teacher. And I'll be poor.
Hey, but you'll be happy probably.
But probably. And so
I don't know.
Well, no, probably is a good point to have right there. So I ended up teaching theology at a all-black Catholic grade school right outside of DC for a year. Was not happy. So you were right about that part. But the whole time I was teaching, I was living with these FOCUS missionaries. And so I would see these guys day in and day out. They're like investing so deeply in the lives of their students, their male students. And I'm like, man, that's what I want to do. I want to make that kind of impact and that kind of change. And like, I would have enjoyed teaching more. My principal was kind of wacky.
Yeah.
And so I would do stuff and I would get permission from her before I would do it. And then she would see me doing it. She would walk into the classroom and just be like, Mr. Hill, what are you doing? And I'm like, we talked about this. Like, what are you?
Come on.
What's going on?
Yeah.
And so that didn't last long. So I did FOCUS 1 year at UConn, 2 years at Temple in Philadelphia. Year 2 at Temple, year 3 on staff as a missionary is when I met my wife. And so we hit it off. And after she graduated from college, and I ended up just starting out of FOCUS to discern marriage with her. I took a job at the Archdiocese of Philadelphia, doing urban outreach for the Office of Youth and Young Adult for a couple of years. And then we got a brand new bishop. And when the brand new bishop came, he kind of like changed the whole face of our office. Yeah. And I just didn't, we just were on different pages when it came to that. And so the entire time while I was there, I was doing a few other things, but one of my main initiatives was bringing Vagabond to Philadelphia. And when, I learned that the new bishop was trying to change things up pretty drastically. Just change
less missionary things, or
our whole operation just said, all right, we're going to cease this and we're going to dream up something new. And it's like, well, but this is what I'm on fire for. This is what I'm passionate about. It's not your vision. I get it. Yeah. So if you want to change it, fine.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Yeah. And so I moved onto Vagabond, and then they said, hey, how about you come out to Pittsburgh? And I'm like, well, my wife is from there, or at the time, girlfriend. My girlfriend's from there. Maybe that can work out. And so that's how I ended up coming to Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Gotcha. It seems like throughout, even now, what you're doing with FOCUS, it seems throughout your life, you've kind of always kept that missionary mentality that you maybe fell in love with in the priesthood, in that seminary version of like serving people, that you fell in love with that in the seminary, and then it continued throughout your vocation in marriage.
Yeah, man.
But I was wondering about that when I was thinking about this podcast. I'm like, man, San's always been very involved in community work. He's never kind of been the corporate guy. He's never been like, he's been super involved with people, super relatable. So it's cool that God kind of continued that mission that you found in the seminary into your journey now. So, because you're at Focus right now, right?
I am at Focus now, yeah.
Cool.
Yep,
Full circle.
Yeah, full circle. Yep, took a 6-year hiatus. Yeah, man, you know, it's like, it's St. Paul. You know, like reading St. Paul, I just like love this guy. And like, for me, it's kind of like this, I don't know, like people, like, all right, we were talking about basketball earlier.
Sure.
When we start talking about basketball, you know,
That's
it's time
fine.
to wrap it up.
No,
but
man.
Like, but this is a good analogy. Like,
Yeah.
men, especially like older men, love Michael Jordan because he would like put his foot on the back of somebody's neck to like make a basket.
Yeah.
You know? Meanwhile, LeBron is like, teamwork, you know, which is like, teamwork is great.
Teamwork, give me the ball, I'll do everything.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but like he'll flop, you know, he'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, cry to the referee.
Yeah.
MJ's like, I ain't crying on the referee. I'm gonna go and get a basket.
Different arena back then, man.
Completely different era. That is very true. But like older men nowadays don't respect LeBron the way that they respect Michael Jordan. And so, man, I had a point to this.
Crap, sorry, I distracted you. But
Man, what was I talking about? Oh, St. Paul. And so, dude, St. Paul was just a guy that just kind of like, I gotta go preach it to these people. I mean, in the one passage where he got stoned almost to death, his his friends, the other disciples are standing around his body and they're like, dang, I think he's dead. And then next thing you know, he just gets up, dusts himself off, and is like, I gotta go back into Iconium. And it's like, what? It's like, they just tried to kill you. It's like, job's not done. Like, their hearts were moving in here. Man. And I don't want to leave them in that, like, in this limbo phase just because they think I'm dead now. I got to let them know I'm back and God has so much more in store for all of you. And so I just take that mentality with me, the St. Paul mentality with me, you know?
That should be a new thing, man. That should be a podcast, the St. Paul mentality.
Man.
Start one, man.
Yeah, I ain't good at potting.
Dude, it'd be great, man. But yeah, we need more of that in the world, man, especially in men. Just like, you know, the Kobe Mamba mentality, you talk about that, but it's the St. Paul mentality. It's kind of similar. Just like, give it your all in whatever you're doing, and you bring in God and trust that God's going to correct you because you are giving it your all.
Dude,
you know?
Shipwrecked, prison.
I know.
Stranded on like, come on, dude, you kidding me? And he was like, job's not done.
And one of the worst persecutors of the church to ever live. Before that.
You're right.
Yeah.
He had a 180.
Yeah. He had a total 180, man. Building tents for 3 years before he gets preaching, man.
I don't even know what that actually means, but yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but you should fact check me on this, but I heard from a seminarian that St. Paul, like after he had his reversion, he actually like worked for 3 years before going into ministry. Like he's just like, I'm not like he like, it was almost like his preparation for ministry. He's like, I need to work. I need to, you know, get my mind right, you know, because I'm sure when you come out of a period of your life where you're like in the dumps, you can't just go into preaching. You can't just go into helping others. You know, you need to help yourself or let God help you, more importantly, before you do any of that. So,
well, that was my 3 years then in seminary.
Yeah,
man. Dude, I love St. Paul.
He's so cool.
He's so good, man.
Yeah, he's so cool. You got a lot of knowledge in scripture, man. I'm pretty impressed.
Oh, I don't know much, dude. What do you mean?
You know more than me. You're Iconium. I'm like, damn, okay.
Dude, that's when I was like, what does this mean, Father Gurney? He's like, well, that's just a city. I'm like, oh, what? He's like, yeah, just different names.
Yeah, man. So when you and Kristen, when did you guys get married?
Man, okay, man, I'm glad she's not. Let's see.
I literally asked the guy last week. I'm like, when did you get married? He's like, shoot, man, you can't ask me that. I'm
Transfiguration. It was 8/6/21. So August 6th, 2021 is when we got married.
Gotcha. Yeah, I remember. I think I met you right as you got married to her, but I kind of wanted to get into that, so we kind of touched on seminary, touched on kind of your reversion back into the faith, and then you fall in love with your wife, you get married. Kind of what was that process like in discernment? Like, how was it different from previous relationships when you were dating her? You know, when you fell in love and got married to her? Was it just like, man, this is like God's confirming this for real? You know, he's not going back and forth anymore.
Dude, like, so God loves two people, children and fools. I'm a fool, man. And so like like in other relationships, they were it's kind of like, You know, I didn't feel no
Yeah.
sparks and nothing. And like, I think some of them I had like infatuation. So it was like, I think I love her. And it's like, do I? You know, like.
That's a big difference. That's a good difference, though, to bring up, like infatuation versus like actual falling in love.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think like for me, a couple of things, man. Like on our 1 year anniversary, which is the longest relationship I had ever had at that point, I remember like going to leave. I was leaving my house to go pick her up. I had a whole day planned, and I was super excited for it. And I remember like in the car ride over, I just was crying from the moment I stepped foot in the car to the moment where I pulled up, and they were all happy tears. And it was just kind of thinking like, I love her so much to the point where I am willing to sacrifice my life for her. Like I will do anything for this woman. And it was just such a deep, profound love that I couldn't understand. I think that's why it like came out through emotion of just tears, you know? And so like that, yeah, it was just a real beautiful, beautiful moment there. And so going back to like and I think, all right, so before I go back to the other point too, I think that's when I kind of knew it was like, all right, this is confirmed. I love her, and like as long as things aren't like go completely left or right or whatnot, this is it for me. But the other thing was that, you know, God, once again, when things are big, God will give me a dream. And so
That's pretty cool, man.
Man, it is, man, and it is a big gift, and I do appreciate it. And so I ended up having a dream one day of like me walking up. So I'm in a church, and I'm like walking up to like this altar, but I see this woman in a wedding dress, and I'm like, whoa, who's this? And when I walk up, she turns to me. She's veiled. I lift up the veil. It's her.
Whoa.
And I'm like, whoa, this is wild, God. And I think, once again, dude, I think God is just like, I know you're going to screw this up, dude. So let me just go back to the thing, like the way that you know confirmation best. I'm going to give you a dream. And the fact that I can remember these dreams,
That's
too,
what I was just about to say. The fact that you remember them so like you're talking about locker rooms and breath mints. I'm like, damn, man, I have dreams about like the freaking Cheeto Man trying to kill me. That's like about it.
The Kool-Aid Man busting through the wall like, oh yeah. It's like, dude,
come on,
pour me up some.
Yeah. That's incredible, man. That's such a gift. Oh man.
And so that's how that was like part of the and I guess the way they were different from the other ones, you know, like it just was fleeting. It's like, I can be without her. You know, like I guess I don't really miss her. I miss being around someone. Like it feels nice to feel like somebody thinks that, it feels nice to feel loved. Like in the world of loneliness, when people are like, I just want somebody to love me. And there's somebody who texts you and you're like, oh, somebody's thinking of me right now. And you can like open that up and it's like, oh, what did they say? Hi, what are you doing right now?
Yeah. Means
chilling,
so much.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's like, but like if you replace that hole that people have in their hearts with God, you know, you export out like other, and you put in God there. What if you went to prayer and God was like, hey, I'm sending you a text message right now. What are you doing? What are you up to? Wow, God, you're talking to me? Yeah, I am. I'm always talking to you.
Yeah, think about how many missed calls we have from God.
Come on now, good gracious.
Dude, a lot, man.
13 for me today by
easily, man.
Easily. And that's every hour and hour.
Yeah.
Dude, real quick, I saw this one post on Instagram, and I kind of like don't really like Instagram. It's like a necessary evil for me.
Yeah, it is too for me. I hate it, but I love it.
you got to use it. Got to get your name out there and stuff. And so like I see this one post, and there's this man. He walks up to a restaurant and he sits down, and a waiter comes over and he's like, "Just for one?" He's like, "Oh no, two." And it's like, "Oh, okay." And it's Jesus. Guy's dressed like Jesus. Have you seen this before?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, dude, it's so good. Bethany, have you seen this before? You're probably not on Instagram. Yeah. I think I tried looking you up. I'm like, dang, she don't got one. All right.
You can send it to the Buck Up podcast.
I'll send it to Buck Up. Yeah. That's what all right, for sure. Okay, and so the waiter's like, for one person, Jesus says, no, two. He's like, okay, here's menu. Should I get something to drink? He's like, 2 waters would be good. He's like, okay, I'll let you look at the menu for a second. I'll be back. I'm sure your guest will be here by then. Waiter goes, 5 minutes later go by. Waiter comes back. So is it just going to be one today? You sure he's coming? He's like, I'm sure he's coming. No worries. You can leave it there.
Mm-hmm.
Hours go by. It's no longer breakfast. It's lunchtime. Waiter comes back. Anything? Jesus says, he's coming. Dinner time hat comes. Waiter's like, are you sure? Can I order you something? We're going to close soon. And he's like, let's just hold off. Yeah, he's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Another hour goes by, and it's time for like dessert. And the waiter walks up to Jesus, and he's like, oh, is it time? And he's like, oh, he's right here. And the guy walks up, he's like all disheveled and everything, and he like scoots out the chair. But he's talking as soon as he comes into the frame.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, Jesus, hey, how you doing? Yeah, well, let me just tell you about my day real quick. I did this and this happened.
Mm-hmm.
And, this really sucked, but like, God, can you just please like help me out with this? Can you do that for me? And he gets up, he's like, thanks so much. This water, this is great. He's like, doesn't even finish it. And he's like, oh, well, all right, Jesus, same time next week, all right? And Jesus just sits there and he's like, but I have so much I want to say to you. You didn't give me a chance to talk. And it's like, man.
Damn.
Dude, that's me.
That's me too, man.
That's me, man. I just come, I like blurt it all out. And it's like, all right, now what? And
yeah.
I just leave before I give him a chance to say anything back to me sometimes.
Dang, man.
So anyway, yeah, how many missed calls do we have from Jesus? I love that.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, I'm the guy who like reads his text messages, just leaves them on red, dude.
Well, I did that to you today.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll respond later, Don't get back to him for like months. But the fact, and Mother Teresa talks about this, like Jesus actually thirsting for our souls. Like you can imagine like a missed call that you have from your wife, and she's like, or you're wondering, or she's wondering, man, when he's gonna call me back? When's she gonna call me back?
Yeah.
Imagine Jesus' agony when like we have a missed call from him and we're not calling him back, and it like. And he wants to give us the world. He wants to give us everything that we need to be successful, to go to heaven. Like literally our life. And we're just like, nah, man. I'll wait. I'll go get those taquitos. I'll do everything else.
We'll go to 7-Eleven get a Slurpee.
Yeah. I'll hit the bar up before hitting you up at the restaurant. But it's just,
man.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to take a quick break, everyone, because I'm sweating profusely. I'm going to grab a towel. It's the first time we've ever done this, but we'll be right back. All right. So we're back from break. I was like, dude, I was seeing sweat drip from Sam's forehead. I'm like, time for break, bro. But first break ever, so you should be honored. But hey, we're sweating for you, people. All right, we're doing this for you. We actually like installed. I brought an AC unit for my house because I was just like, I need it. I need to do something because it was like 92 degrees in here. So I don't think we would have made it, man.
I wouldn't have survived, bro. I was shot. I was like, yeah, it's been cool. Let's reschedule.
Yeah, exactly. But I wanted to kind of transition, obviously, after married life, getting into, or not after married life, but you're still married. After you dated her, Kristen, you got married. What was that like for the first like couple months, man?
Of marriage?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the honeymoon phase, I would say, was like in full effect.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see, hold on. This was like a certain way. Maybe I was sitting a certain way. Yeah, the first couple of months of marriage, we were like bouncing around.
Mm-hmm.
So we go on a honeymoon, and when we come back, like we didn't have a home to go to. And so we lived in a Airbnb. Well, okay, before we go on a honeymoon, we like live in an Airbnb for like 2 days. Go on a honeymoon, we live in a more permanent Airbnb for like 2 months or something like 2.5 months. And like during that time, we found out we were pregnant, so that was super exciting.
Wow.
But then Kristen just was kind of debilitated, just on the bed and curled up, and with the morning sickness that lasts for the afternoon and evening as well. It's like, why do they call it just morning? It's really deceptive. And so like that was difficult to try. Like I had known her for being just a lot more like free. She can do this. She has like now she's kind of like sick all day, and it's like, man, what's going on? You're sick all the time. Like it's like, aren't you fun still? Like what happened? But that's very selfishly. I thought, but the other thought was, well, I guess this is my opportunity now to continue to like really start to like put in my vows and in place where you just say them. It's like, no, it's time to actually live them. now, you know, and so in sickness and in health, I'm here, and obviously I want to be here. I'm excited to be here, but I haven't taken care of anybody since my time in seminary, really, with the Little Sisters of the Poor, taking care of the shut-ins at the old folks' home. And so it's like, man, I gotta take care of somebody again. I'm like, oh, okay. Doing all the cooking, which I'm a good cook. So
okay,
yeah,
that's a rarity now, man.
Well, I'm not as good as you. You're a really good cook. But I remember you were using an oven. I'm like, dude, you're in college. You busting out the oven? Like, that's a big deal. My man had all the food on one little like tray. He's like, all the juice is gonna flow over. I'm like, man.
When did I cook?
You never cooked for me. I just watched you cook.
Oh.
It was one day when Jesse invited me over to the house.
Oh yeah. Well, I was the only guy who cooked in that house, man. Jesse's like, I'm getting home from a hard day's work, and Jesse's like, what'd you make for dinner? And I'm like, what am I, like a freaking full-time maid now, man? Come on.
I bet you fed him too.
Oh yeah, dude, I fed him good, man. He gained some lbs in that house for sure, man.
Oh man, Mr.
Shout out to Jesse.
He's supposed to be coming to Pittsburgh twice, and once in July, one in August. He's gonna stay with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So like it was good. It definitely felt like it was just a lot of like instability.
Yeah.
Very exciting, but very unstable.
Yeah.
And then we ended up living. Father Chris Donnelly has a house in Morningside. We ended up staying there for like
that's right
10 months or so, which was great. And during that time, bought a house. Still needed a lot of work to be done. And so after we moved out of Father Chris's house, we lived with Kristen's parents for a little bit. At this time, Andre had been born.
Awesome kid.
Yeah, man, he is great. And times where he's acting 3 and like just has a lot of testosterone, and he's like, I don't know how to like control myself quite yet. When I say like, Andre, you're my little sweet boy, it kind of like redirects some of that sometimes. And he'll be like, oh, Dad, I love you too.
Oh,
like
man,
when I say you're my sweet boy, he thinks in his head me saying I love you, which is beautiful that he thinks that, you know.
That's so beautiful, man.
Because I will say I love you, and he'll say I love you too, Dad. But when I say like you're my sweet boy,
it's more intimate.
I love you too.
Because it's your thing. You
know? Exactly. It's so cool. That's my guy, man. I love him.
Yeah. It's good that he's wild too, man. Don't destroy. Like, I think about little kids, and these parents that I know are like, we don't, our kids are, kind of a-holes sometimes, but it's like you don't want to destroy that out of them. Like that's just who they are, and like not that word, but like they're crazy, and like kids are meant to be crazy, and you don't want to like discipline the crap out of them so that craziness goes away.
Yeah.
And that kind of hit me because I was like, man, I'm crazy too. But my parents probably didn't, like, they just let us be, at a certain time. Like, it's a mix of, and like, I don't know what I'm talking about here, but like from what I've heard with parents, like they really let their kids be kids. Yeah. And that's really healthy and like honestly fun to see. And I see Andre running up the chapel, and I'm like, man, this kid's a kid. He gets to be who he's meant to be, and it's freaking awesome.
It's so great to hear it from a outsider perspective.
I know. I don't deal with that. I just get to see the benefits, man. I'm like, this kid is awesome. He just is being himself. It's honestly humbling, because I'm like, that's what God wants, man. He wants us to run around and be free and like be free. Obviously, as an adult means something totally different. But just not have worry, I think. Not worry every day. So.
Yeah, no, that is good, man. Because, like, in my mind, I'll think, oh, if I don't get him, Kristen's probably going to have, like, a breakdown. Like, I can't believe my kid. And I'm, like, chill about it. Oh, you want to say Mass with Father Chris? Go ahead and celebrate, brother. Like, I'll see you in a bit, like... Because eventually he'll be like, oh, I'm scared. And then he'll come back down.
Yeah.
But... he's
learning.
He's learning. Exactly. Kristen.
Hey, bro, I'm not part of this.
No, but like going back to St. Paul.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Hey, we can go back to St. Paul, man.
I should go back to Jesus, but like Jesus shows St. Paul, like there's so much that like was inspired, and like how he went on such an adventure. You don't go on the adventure. Like, there's no way he goes on an adventure without being allowed to be freely himself as a kid. You know what I mean? Like, this guy, like, no way he's like, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go to here, I'm going to go here. Like, he would just most likely, like, I'm just going to connect with the people around here.
Yeah.
And I'll do that. And, I won't, if somebody's kind of like, like, I'm kind of burning some bridges, I'll try to, like, quickly put out those fires. It's like, no, he knew who he was, and he was confident in his own, and secure within himself.
Yeah. That he could be a fool for Christ.
That he could be a fool for Christ. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, like, dude, I love to see Andre jump off tables. You know, like, if he wants to put a hole through a wall, sure. Like, will it be a headache to try and figure out later? Yeah, but let him try. Let him, you know what I mean? I want him to have the freedom to fail in life. And so I just kind of let him do.
Like a safe space to fail?
Yeah, man. He want to go in a chicken coop and mess around with the chickens. Dude, if they peck you, you'll know.
Yeah. That's how you learn, man.
That's how you learn, man. You got to discover.
Especially as a young boy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so it's great.
How is your... Speaking of like into masculinity, so you were talking about how it's like a challenge, like, man, I got to start like helping Kristen and like start living out my vows, taking care of her. Was that when you really started to like get in touch with your masculinity and be like, man, I'm in it now. Like I gotta really like put my nose to the grindstone and like say yes every day now, not just say yes during the honeymoon phase. It's easy, but like every day I have to wake up and be like, yes, this is what I chose.
No, that's not. I didn't. It didn't start there.
Okay.
I think. So the sacrament of marriage, you get so much grace, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'll see like all these dirty dishes and I walk over happy. I'm about to get these dishes clean for my wife for whenever next time we're hungry. I'll cook or she can. I'll clean them up. Or like, oh, is that a blanket on the ground? Man, let me fold that thing up. I'm moving off of so much grace. And so like I got the training wheels on and I'm just coasting, dude.
Yeah.
And so the training wheels have been off for a couple years. But like it was only until probably earlier this year where I started to tap more into okay, I need to step up and be a man. And not just kind of want things to go my way when I want them to go my way, because that's not going to help. That's not going to help my family get to heaven. And so part of the like thought process behind it that have really kind of like helped me understand a little bit more of like, what does it mean to be like Christ and sacrifice? I think about how he's the head of the church, or like a little, let's like, all right, that's too big.
Sure.
The priest is the head of the church. You know, when he's in persona Christi and everything, and as he's leading his people, you know, when the people are crying out for help, he's not saying, "Oh, you need confession, you be fine." Like, I don't feel like getting in the box right now, or like, "Oh, you guys need anointing of the sick." Just say your own prayers, you know. Like, don't bother me at 2 a.m. and stuff like that. And so I would say, like, it's been building up, like, my mentality of like, I am the head of my domestic church. You know, that it's been building up through, like, especially with kids. You know, if they wake up in the middle of the night, Andre's like thrown up and like pooped his pants, had like crazy diarrhea one morning. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Gotta like hose this kid down in the bathtub. I'm like, I'm not touching you, buddy. But now thinking about it, and it's been really a culmination of these years. But this year especially, I've just been more cognizant and more conscious of, I am the head of the household. I am the priest figure, so to speak, you know, and the head of my domestic church here. And the way that Jesus was sacrificed on the cross for us, the way that the priest sacrifices for the laity, is the way that I need to also sacrifice for my wife and my kids. And so if they say, "Daddy, I need you to do this for me," or Santonio, my husband, "I need you here, and I need you to step up here, and I need you here," instead of me saying, "You got it, you can handle it," it's like, no, I need to step into that. I need to lean into this more, and I need to be able to lay down my wants and desires at times for the betterment of everyone. And so, like,
wow,
you know, for the longest time, and I think it was interesting because I think for a while I would just think of, so like my mom raised me, you know, and so did my grandma, and and I would think that, like, okay, so with my mom raising me, and she like she handled business. You know what I mean? When Kristen will sometimes say like, "Oh, Tony, I need this from you. I need you to do this or that," I'll think, "Well, you should be able to handle it." Like my mom did this without an extra parent, and it's so like evil's a strong word, but like a little twisted to think that like I'm an extra parent in the home at times. There's really like some therapy stuff I probably need to work out.
Sure.
But like I would think that, and I'm like, well, and I would do things like begrudgingly. But now, you know, it's like, oh no, I'm not an extra parent. I am a parent, one of two. You need to have two. You know what I mean? To like make this ship sail well.
Make the ship sail well. That's a good point. Like not just sail, but like sail well where you're not worried it's gonna sink every second.
Oh yeah, not like always patching up the Titanic. Like please don't rip apart in the middle of the ocean. Like let's get, you know, we want a well-oiled machine here. Man, what was the point I was gonna make? It was about stepping up.
Yeah, because my next question was gonna be like, when was that paradigm shift? You know, like why did you start shifting into that mentality? You know, and if you remember your point, feel free to interject at any time. But
I probably won't ever remember that point. But
extra parent, but you realized you weren't an extra parent.
It was something before that.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh well. But it was when did I realize it? You know, enough of like, that's a good point. When did I realize that?
Because it seemed you said like in the last year, that's when you really like stepped up. I mean,
yeah. I mean, part of it I think is just like my conversations with my wife, with Kristen, about like, you know, me being more involved. And like telling you are home, and when you're home, you're like, you're hanging out, but like I need you also on. Like when you're at work, you're doing work, like you know your benefactors so well, you know what like makes them tick. Like, and she didn't say these things to me. But like, what if you came home and you knew what made me tick? You know what made the kids tick, you know? Like we are actually the main priority. We're actually the number one after God in your life. But like it's God, family, then like work and whoever else. And so having my priorities out of whack, and some of it is like, well, I'm a man, so I need to provide. I have to like protect and whatnot. And so like that provider factor, like growing up, not knowing like if we could afford this or afford that, and me being probably the most successful person in my family for like, I mean, not the most, but like. Maybe, you know, I don't, you know, and so it's like, not many other people like own a house in my family. Nobody else has gotten like married in the past like 50 years. The first person to get married in 50 years. And so like all these other things that I'm up against, and it's like, well, instead of trusting God the way I should, I say, well, I have to do this right now. And so it's like, well, I want to make sure we still have enough money to do these things. So let me go all in with work. And when I go all in with work, I'll be able to reap the benefits of family life. But it ends up being the opposite. I go all in work, and then I end up having rotten fruit at home, and I end up having decent fruit at work. But it's disordered in that way.
But you had to, I mean, think about your experience. Like, it's not like you had the opportunity to learn, you know, all the things about fatherhood when you were young, obviously. So it's just, it's learning that's got to be tough, you know? Like, and you can't learn it unless you're in it.
You can't learn it unless you're in it. That's so true. And I remember the point I was going to make. Thank you, Bethany, for thinking about that. It was the point of, like, I, for the longest time, and I think part of, like, me thinking in this, like, distorted way is that, like, the feminist movement has been so, like, just everywhere. And so it's like, you're a woman, you can handle it, you know? And, like, I'm also thinking, like, well, we're equals. Like, why would I diminish your responsibility and, like, your opportunity to grow in holiness if you're asking me to do it? You're kind of giving up that opportunity for yourself to grow in holiness. Like, these are the ways that I'm thinking, because like as men, it's like, well, just do the hard thing, you know, and like, and then you'll be able to like, you'll be able to reap the benefits of doing the hard thing afterwards, no matter what it is. But like in the context of marriage, man, it's just not like that. That's just not the case. And so I like to think like, okay, we are still equal. Like, I'll treat her with all the human dignity that she deserves at all.
Of course.
But like, I am the head of the house. And so that means that the responsibility is just a little bit more on my back when it comes to all the things. And so no breaks, no vacation from your vocation. You know, I heard it in seminary, and now it's back in marriage. You know, so it's like you can't just take these breaks or what you perceive to be a break, because it could break off your relationship.
Yeah, man, that's so true. And I think it's like it seems like God put it all in perspective for you. You know, like, and he probably will continue to put it in perspective for all of us as we continue. But it's like you can't be what you want to be in a year today.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to go through the grinder. But that's beautiful. I wrote down this thing. I said lead servant, because that's kind of how I think about a father. Like they honestly, because authority as a father, or even authority as a mother, you are given that authority to serve. You know, that's like the primary use of that authority, is to serve your family, serve your house, serve your wife, etc. So just when you were speaking, I'm like, man, it's being the lead servant of your household. Like you don't get the option to not serve anymore.
Yeah.
You know? Like you don't get the option to say, hey, I'll serve tomorrow, I won't serve today. It's like, no, you got to serve today. And I'm sure Kristen, you know, feels the same. It's like, oh, I got to serve today. You know?
She's got those kids, man.
Yeah,
like,
man. And
that's
it's freaking tough. Dude, my mom was a stay-at-home mom for like freaking 4 psycho boys and then 2 girls who are all right. But sorry, Kirsten and Kate, for watching this. But I'm like, I look back at that, I'm like, Dad, you had the easy job, man. Like, we were crazy, you know? And like, crazy because we're kids, but we're also a little bit, you know, crazy. But
no.
But we're all type A. But I'm like, Mom, like, now as an adult, and I'm sure even more, like, hopefully if I have kids one day, I'll even thank her even more. But it's like, wow. Like, the motherly vocation, the ability of women to suffer well is just out. It's insane, dude. Like women suffer so much better than men, man. It's just crazy to me.
Well,
you know?
they've been doing it since what, age 13, 12,
Yeah.
you know, with the menstrual cycles.
Yeah.
Like, and they don't talk about it. They're like just happening inside. Like, I need to use the bathroom. It's like, man, Sally's been going to the bathroom a lot today. Like, what's going on? You know, but it's like, oh no, she's dealing with, you know.
Yeah, you think about childbirth
bleeding.
too, man. It's like, so I have such a great
This is
respect
my body
for
giving
that.
up for you. Good gracious. I mean,
oh my gosh.
Put it in perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, the women are phenomenal.
Yeah.
And men are mainly weak. You know?
Men are high. No,
yeah.
But it's just they complete each other, you know, and that's like the whole lead servant aspect is in my mind. It's like, man, do you trust Kristen or whoever? Like, do you trust your wife to serve you well so you don't have to serve yourself? And vice versa. Like, you don't have to worry about serving yourself because you're constantly serving the other, and you're not expecting service back. But that's what love is. Love gives and receives. You know. So it's just a beautiful game of like, man, I'm trusting you here. But but even if you fail in marriage, which I'm sure you fail, like marriage is like so difficult, I bet. So I'm sure there's failures all the time. But then God's like right there to beam down His grace. Like, man, you need an infusion right now. Let's get it done. But yeah, it's just really cool to hear your perspective, dude, on that. I wanted to get a little bit to our last topic. We touched on this a little bit, just fatherhood, man. I mean, like, how's that changed your life? I know you just had a daughter recently, but
yeah. So how has fatherhood changed my life? Man.
That's a loaded question. If you want it, we can microlize it a little bit. But
yeah, like, is there anything specific that you want to know?
Yeah, you were talking about perceptions changing. Like when Andre was born, what was your perception switch? You know, was it worry? Was it fear? Was it just a mix of everything? And then from that day, what happened? You know.
So like ever since I was a boy, I always wanted to be a father. And yeah, part of it kind of came from like the lack of my father being in my home, being in a house. And it's like, wait, where's my dad? You know, like, he didn't choose us. And it's like, he has, you know, there's other people he's with, or he's out just doing whatever else. And it's like, he's not here. You know, I go to school and I see kids getting picked up and dropped off by their dads. And it's like, well, what about, I'm gonna get dropped up by grandma, you know? And so I always wanted to be a dad to, like, I guess in some ways, kind of like heal some wounds that I have, probably. You know, it's so very healing being a father. There's a story I want to share about jumping in Apollo leaves. Please. But I don't want to, so like, don't let me forget that.
No, it's my job. I won't forget it.
Okay, thank you.
Don't forget it.
And so like when Andre was born, before he was born, I was like entitled. I was so entitled to like be a father, because it's like, well, of course I'm gonna be a dad. Like I always wanted to be a dad. I went to seminary. I gave God like my first fruits and like, you know, allow him to love upon me and everything. And he's gonna bless me back in return with a kid. Of course, duh. You know, this is gonna happen. And so, yeah, we get engaged, we get married. And the entire time during our engagement, Kristen's like, I hope I can get pregnant. I hope I can get pregnant. I'm like, Kristen, listen, all my cousins got so many kids. And like they, you know what I mean? Like they didn't, we gonna be all right. You know, I'm like, we're gonna get pregnant off the first time.
Rip.
Or, you know, and so, and she was just like, well, and it's so crazy that I even thought this because I know her cycles. And I'm like, well, okay, this is a window and this is not. But I'm like, well, it doesn't matter. It's still going to happen. We got pregnant immediately. And I was like, duh, of course. I'm so entitled. Andre comes. He's born. And I still was like, this is what I deserve. Absolutely. Like he's like my trophy or something like that. So distorted. And I remember one day, and I kind of like just continue to take him for granted. And I remember one day I visited a friend, and we went on a trip to Virginia. We visited a friend. We stayed with them, and Andre was like 4 or 6 months old or something like that. And my friend, she's married, her and her husband, and they had been struggling to conceive for a couple years at this point. And so I'm holding Andre, and she says, do you mind if I hold him? And I'm like, sure, absolutely, go for it. And she's holding him. She's having like such a powerful, like intense, deep moment with my son. And I'm like, what's going on? And she kind of like tears up a little bit. And then she says, every single month I mourn. And I'm like, wow. I just felt so shitty. I don't know what other word to use. Excuse my language. You know, and just like taking my own son for granted when people are out here struggling to conceive. And I know so many people like that. And then after that, I realized how blessed I was to conceive immediately, you know, because a lot of times it takes couples a few tries, months, maybe years. They eventually did have a kid, so that's beautiful. Yeah, it's awesome. But after that, moving forward, I was like, this is my son. I'm never taking him for granted again. And then I start cherishing moments because I was just kind of like going throughout my days very mundane of like, of course I have a son. You know, of course he's cute. You know, I'm cute. Duh. You know, like little things like that. And and so the one moment that like kind of, and this is going back to the leaves.
Sure. So
there's like, I'm a big kid, you know, and like I want to do like all the fun little kid stuff, and Kristen's like, okay, like how about we like go thrifting and drink coffee? And I'm like, but what if we went to the National Bird Aviary instead and like did some cool stuff there, and, like feed the penguins and stuff? And she's just like, okay, if that's what you want to do. And so one day we go to the National Aviary, and there's like a guy. It's like fall, and so there's a guy. He's like blowing the leaves, and he moved from like right outside to like way over yonder, and I'm like, he got this nice big pile of leaves right here, and I'm like, oh man, I want to jump in this like pile of leaves, but my inner child is like jumping the leaves, but then the more like, I don't know, experienced and beaten and battered Santonio has been like, nah man, you'll look stupid, you'll look silly. Like, don't do that. That's lame. It's dumb, you know? But really, like, talking it down. And so Andre just starts taking off. And he's just, like, running around in these fields. And I'm like, once again, the inner child's like, go after that. Like, go run with him in the fields. And, like, be a child. And I was just like, no, I'll look stupid. Who's there? Nobody. Absolutely nobody's in sight. And it's just me, Andre, and Kristen. And it's like, what a great opportunity to do it. I'm fighting it. And then I just said, and I just went for it. And so I'm just like running around, we're like doing airplanes and just running around in the fields. And then I like, Andre, come here. And I just pick him up. We just like fall in the pile of leaves. And it was just such a beautiful little moment. And part of it was just, you know, like enter into the childlikeness with my child. You know, and just be able to like explore again. And it's okay if you look foolish. I am foolish in a lot of ways. And something about that was just so healing.
Dude,
you know?
wow.
And like, yeah, I don't know. It's just a opportunity to be free.
Andre's teaching you lessons when he was only a couple years old, man.
He was like 1 or something like that. Yeah, but absolutely, man. It's beautiful. And I don't know. It's hard putting words to it.
No, that's such a beautiful experience, man. Just because you look at Andre, he's like, he doesn't care who's there, man.
Not at
he's
all.
like, let me just do my thing, and it's like, wow, a father, like you're literally learning from your son
how to be a kid
who's just being himself. That's outstanding, man. That's incredible.
Because I said I was childish. I mean, childlike or not childlike. I said I'm a big kid, but I was probably more like immature. You know?
Yeah.
And like Andre's teaching me like maturity because I have to be responsible, change a diaper, and whatnot. And then it's also like, but also, what does freedom look like? You know, you can also be free in this
What does
life.
freedom look like?
Yeah.
Well, I think you answered my question on how fatherhood has changed you. You know.
Yeah.
At least a little bit.
Yeah, and it's also like, I don't know. You look at your kids and you want them to, I don't know. You want them to like, you want them to be perfect, you know, at times. You want them to be like incredible and do everything well. But they fall and they fail often. And it's like, well, come on, you could have, you know, why didn't you listen to me or like whatnot? And it's like, how often am I getting frustrated with my kid? How many more times is God the Father getting frustrated with me because I missed the 13 missed calls from him early on today, you know? And I was like, telling you did that and you wasn't supposed to. Like, that was you're not moving towards me, you know? I still love you. I'm still giving you chances to like receive my mercy and my grace, but I just want to let you know you're not moving towards me. And that goes to the voicemail.
And how perfect his love is that he can't get frustrated with us. He just still comes back for more, you know?
Yeah.
Like God can never be upset with us or frustrated, but that's perfect love, man.
Yeah.
And then we try to love our kids or whatever, and it's like, or love our brothers and sisters in Christ or even our family, and I'm like, dude, I fail all the time. And I'm like, dang, man. Like, I'm a jerk, you know?
Yeah.
So it's, God really, like, writes the line, man, and allows us to jump all over it.
And dude, it's also like when your child just looks at you with like so much love and they just have such a genuine smile and they're like, once again, it's like, Daddy, I love you. It's like, wow. And like, you don't know what's going on in the stock market right now. Like, you don't know that the NBA finals just happened or whatever. Like, you don't know that like the world is at war, quite literally. All you know is that like you love your dad. And it's sometimes a mirror reflection of how God the Father loves us. Or at least me. It's like, man, God loves me the way that my daughter loves me right now, the way that my son loves me right now. And the way it was just kind of like googly-eyed and like, don't you know I'm crazy for you? Wow. Like, I would do anything for you. Like, if you ask me to come here and like I lift from my belly and then I'll just do some little like dance or whatever. And it's so silly, but like they delight in it. In the same, like, and when I do little silly like things like that to God, I'm like, God, look. And God's like, dude, I love you so much. I created you. I made you, you know? I'm creature, he's creator. And like, he just loves the little silly things that we do and give him, you know? And it's also just,
Amen, man.
Sometimes just the gaze will do it for you, you know? Yeah, dude, my daughter, her name's Fatima. She'll just like tilt her head to the side and she'll just like walk and she'll like there's a little like smile and I'm like, this girl captures your heart, man, you know? And so, yeah, a lot of times it's just kind of like, this is God. This is God.
That's
like,
amazing. It's incredible. It's incredible saying, well, I'm dying of heat stroke, so we're gonna end it here. But I just wanted, do you have any last messages for everyone? Any words of wisdom?
Man, make wise choices.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Make what nice and short and sweet.
Yeah, make smart choices.
Cool. Well, we didn't pray in the beginning, which is like Bethany. It's her fault. She's supposed to remind me.
Don't blame the woman.
Kidding.
Don't blame the woman.
No.
Adam, blaming the woman over here.
Hey man, all right. Yeah, we'll just edit in another prayer, but different outfit, you know. But we're gonna end it in a glory be here.
Sweet.
So, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. All glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and
to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, a world without end. Amen.
Thank you all for tuning in. We will see you guys soon. Peace.
All right. Yeah, dude, when I started feeling the sweat drip down my neck, I'm like, oh, man, this is bad.
Welcome back to the Prophet Podcast.